Hiya! So today I'm here with another book tag that nobody tagged me on, shocker, and it's called the Get to Know Ya tag. I think these tags are good for booktubers who are just starting, so that people can, get to know them more and see if they want to subscribe or not. Subscribe, people. It'll help me so much. Please subscribe. Question number 1 is your favorite book. My favorite book is Jane Eyre. Question number 2 is what was your favorite book 5 years ago? My favorite book 5 years ago was Jane Eyre. Question number 3 is what is your favorite duology, trilogy, or series? That I have to think about a bit. I think it would be either Harry Potter or Throne of Glass. Maybe even The Hunger Games. I really love The Hunger Games, but I think it would be between Harry Potter and Throne of Glass, leaning towards Harry Potter. 4. What is the last book that you've read? The last book I read was The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. I gave it 3.5 stars. Question number 5 is what is the last poetry book that you've read? And I think the last poetry book that I've read was Ariel by Sylvia Plath. I gave it 5 stars. It blew my mind. It was awesome. It's amazing. I never thought I would be into poetry until I got to know the works of Sylvia Plath. I think she speaks to my soul, and some people think poetry is hard to understand or hard to fully grasp, and sometimes people think it's cringy and angsty, but it's so much more than that. It's like you're bearing your soul in as little words as you can and making that into a work of art. I think poetry is amazing. It is hard as heck to write poetry, because I've tried, and I think Ariel, it was a great place to start. I think that's the first book of poetry that I've read. I am meaning to read the other books of poetry by Sylvia Plath, but they're so goddamn expensive, and I feel so attached to her that I don't want to read it on an ebook or an audiobook. I want to have the actual physical copy, and I can't right now. It's like a book with like 100 pages, and it's like 80 in my currency, so which would be like $25 or something like that. It's too much. Number 6 is the book that has the most influence in your life, that has most influenced your life. I think this is a really difficult question. I think it is Pride and Prejudice, because it was the first classic that I read, and as the first classic I was hooked, and all I wanted to do was read more classics and delve into that more and more and more. So I read all of the Jane Austen books. I got to Jane Eyre, and it's my favorite. My favorite author is Jane Austen to this day, and so I think that influenced me a lot. Like the era, the Regency era is always something I think is so dreamy. So that has influenced me in a way. But also Harry Potter, because I collect books of Jane Austen and Jane Eyre, but I collect stuff from Harry Potter. Like I'm finding myself like DIYing potions to put on my shelves and buying wands and stuff like that. So Harry Potter is like, it goes out of the books and it transcends into your life in other ways that other books don't. What was the book that made you ugly cry? So I don't cry reading books. I don't think I've ever cried reading. Oh yes, no, I cried reading a book. Yes, I did. I remember now. I was gonna say that I didn't ugly cry. I just kind of shed a tear or two while I was reading Brain on Fire by Susanna Cahalan, because it talks about a mental illness and the fact that she was losing her mind, and I was going through something kind of not similar, but to that had parts to do with losing memory and depression and stuff like that, and losing parts of yourself. So that made me kind of tear up a little bit. But the book that made me ugly cry, sob, was The Diary of Anne Frank. But not while I was reading it, because when she was discovered and arrested and taken to the concentration camp, she didn't have time to take her diary and go like, oh, I was discovered and blah 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 blah. So the diary ends on a normal day-to-day thing, and then two lines of nothing, and then you get the phrase Anne's diary ends here. And I just broke down. I just broke down. I cried for like 30 minutes just thinking about her, and just thinking about what happened and what she had to go through. Just those words, those words, Anne's diary ends here. Oh my god. It was like a gut punch. It made me ugly cry. It did. A book that made you laugh. That's question number 8. A book that made you laugh. I'm gonna say the Trevor Noah book that I don't remember the name right now. It made me laugh a lot. I'm gonna put a picture here because I listened to it on audiobook. Number 9 is a character that you would like to trade places for a day. And that, without a doubt, is Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. After the book ends. Not even double. I don't even have to think twice. Lizzie Bennet all the way. Number 10 is a book that you liked so much that you dreamt about it. I don't remember dreaming about a book specifically, but I did dream about Sylvia Plath when I was reading her journals, the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath, which are magnificent and everyone should read them. I think it got me so into it, and I was seeing so much of myself in her, and I remember dreaming about her, about Sylvia Plath, and about her struggles and how it connected to me and stuff like that. Okay, so number 11 is a book that I DNF'd. I have DNF'd many books, okay, not just one. But the first book that I DNF'd was The Lord of the Rings. I think I didn't even get to page 60. It was just too slow for me. I was very young. This was like, I don't know, like 7-8 years ago. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up again. I'm not certain. Maybe in the comments tell me if I should or shouldn't. But that's the first book I remember DNFing, but after that I DNF'd other books. Should I put here the books that I DNF'd? Let's do it. Okay, so Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, I DNF'd. Tales of Terror and Detection by Edgar Allan Poe, I DNF'd. The Line of Beauty by Alan Hollinghurst, I DNF'd. Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer, I DNF'd. Why Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me by Mindy Kaling, I DNF'd. And the last book actually that I DNF'd, it was last week I think, was Ink by Alice Broadway. I'm gonna speak about it more on my wrap up. I was really thinking that I was gonna like it. I went into it with really high expectations, and it was just build up and build up and build up and build up to getting nowhere. It was just like the author wanted to make a trilogy, so the first book was just a build up for the second book, and nothing happened, and I was just getting annoyed. So at like 52%, I was like, I'm done with this. And question number 12, which is the last one, is book that you're most excited to read. Right now, the book that I'm most excited to read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I got this week, it arrived this week, and I don't know why I haven't started yet. Sometimes when I get really high expectations for a book, I get afraid to begin, and that's what's happening right now, I think. But I'm gonna power through. You know, the most difficult thing I think for me is to start a book. When you're in page 20, 30, you fly through it, but to start a book is the most like taxing part, I think. So, but that's the one that I'm most excited to read at this point in time. And that's it. Those are the questions. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned more about me, and I hope you have an awesome day, an awesome week, and I hope you're having fun on this end of the year, having fun with your family. Let's hope 2021 it's gonna be a lot lighter, and I'll see you soon. Bye.